The federal Liberals will have a new leader in a little over a month. Candidates continue to try to establish themselves as the best replacement for Justin Trudeau, who's been thrust back into the spotlight in response to U.S. tariff threats. For more on how the race is shaping up, we're joined by CTV's Scott Hurst. Thank you so much, Scott, for joining us. Can you give us the lowdown on the current status of the main contenders in the Liberal leadership race?
Good morning, Arda. As you mentioned, it'll be March 9th, so not a lot of time for the Liberal candidates. The candidates for Liberal leadership to really pitch themselves to be the next leader. And then for a very short time, potentially, of course, there might be an election soon after that to become a prime minister. But the tariff threat has, of course, thrust itself as one of the main issues that the Liberal leadership candidates are having to focus on. We just heard from former Bank of Canada Governor Mark Carney touching on the threat of tariffs and saying that Canada does need to push back against the U.S. administration, against the Trump administration. We've also heard that from the other apparent frontrunner, Chrystia Freeland, talking about tariffs, saying, if you hit us, we'll hit you back. So it has become a significant issue in the Liberal leadership race. Of course, it has become something that has really taken over a lot of the headlines as Canadians, as the current Liberal government and Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, working with premiers, has had to face this very real threat where up until the 11th hour, it appeared that tariffs were set to be imposed as of Tuesday until we found out that Canada would get this 30-day reprieve. But Arda, that 30-day reprieve really takes us to early March. The Liberals will choose their new leader on March 9th, shortly after that. So if there's a chance where all of a sudden we're hit with tariffs once again, it appears this will be a huge topic in the final run-up to when the Liberals pick their new leader on March 9th. And then, of course, Parliament will be back on March 24th. It has been prorogued until then, but very likely going into a spring election, as the other parties have said. They plan to vote non-confidence in this government. So soon after this Liberal leadership race, it appears likely that whoever wins the Liberal leadership race will then lead the party into an election. And Arda, as we've seen with polling for many weeks and months now, whoever wins this race to become Liberal leader currently will have an uphill battle because the Conservatives really have been soaring high in the polls for quite some time now.
Scott, thank you so much. Lots going on in the world of Canadian politics. We appreciate you breaking it all down for us.
Thanks, Arda.